who's got the biggest Christmas present, yourself with this contract extension or the club having you around?
I'd like to say the club having me around. I think Roddy would obviously agree with that as well.
Obviously.
How much pressure do you feel with having your family been through this club before? How much pressure is there to live up to the name?
It's not too bad, really. Yeah, I feel like, obviously there's been a bit of family to play at the club before, but yeah, I really don't feel the pressure. Speaking to Russ and to my grandpa and dad and that, they just sort of say, don't think about it too much and just play and enjoy yourself, and so that's why I sort of go about it and try not to put too much expectation or anything like that on myself.
What was the biggest factor in getting this contract extension done now, and for having it for 3 years, quite a decent size?
Yeah, well, I think it was just a good time for both myself and the club. I think going into the next year, at least then it frees you up just to think about footy. You don't have to worry about contracts or anything like that. You're quite confident that you're here for a long time, and I really obviously love the place and I've always wanted to stay here. So the quicker we can get it done, and for as long as possible, really, there's no real reason for me to leave or to try and do anything like that. So I'm really happy with where the club's going and how we're sitting at the moment. So it was no-brainer, I guess.
There are a number of people that may have questioned your move when you left West Coast to come to Port, but I guess now with last season and I guess this contract extension, it sort of shows you've vindicated in what you've done.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, that's obviously. I've said all along that I loved my time at West Coast and appreciated everything they did. They, helped me out over those 4 years, and I really loved my time over there. But I guess since coming home, it's been fantastic in terms of being able to play for the club I love and really enjoy being around back home in Adelaide with family and friends again.
Brad, this will take you to about 28.
I think it might be 27 by the time I come out. Yeah.
So the intention would be to obviously just stay at Port for the rest of your career, hopefully.
Oh, that'd be great. Yeah, if Roddy will have me, we can. Yeah, that'd be nice. At the end of that 4 years, we can keep going. So, but yeah, definitely, I'd love to stay here and play the rest of my career here for sure.
You're highly professional, Brad, with your training. Have you noticed a huge shift with the rest of the group since you've come in over the last 2 years and even in this pre-season? Yeah,
there has been a massive shift, and I think in my first year, obviously we didn't play as well as what we hoped and that, but I think that having Ken and Burjo come along and now Walshy this pre-season, I think it really adds some credentialed people to the coaching panel, and I think that players that have come along as well have really helped out this club and raised that standard of training, and then that goes across to games as well. So I think that they've really done well in pulling in some good people to the club, and I think that it's really raised the bar in from the first year players right through, and hopefully that'll put us in good stead.
When you came back from West Coast, was it everything you expected, or did it take you a little while to feel at home again? No,
I felt quite comfortable pretty quickly. I think having Brett here helped immensely. Obviously, he's a bit of a joker around the club and has a bit of fun, and so it was good fun to be able to play with him for 2 years and coming straight in. I probably just hung around with him a fair bit, but you quickly establish your own friends and get along with everyone. Really, the group here is a real tight knit group, and I think that they are real embracing of new guys coming in. You see it with all the first years at the moment. I think they feel pretty comfortable pretty quickly, and that's what you want with a footy club, and so I felt the same when I got here.
So is there any relief? Young list, mate, and signing such a big contract will take you to, like you say, 27, 28. Does that put any added pressure on you now to perform, to live up to that contract, so to speak? I
don't think so. Yeah, I think that coming home, I obviously set myself goals and really try to stick to them, and I don't think that any form of money or anything like that can, and length of contract or anything really changes where I sort of see myself or how I play my game or anything like that. I think that it's pretty clear cut that I just make sure that I focus on the goals that I set out at the start of the year and work through them and reassess every year. So it probably won't play much of a part.
Where are you at with your game? How did you sort of feel you went this year compared to 2012?
Yeah, I feel like I improved again, and especially the second half. The first half of the year I was probably up and down a bit and adjusting to playing some different roles and that. But the second half of the year I felt quite comfortable in. Sort of playing mainly midfield and wing and half back, half forward. I felt that I was able to play a number of roles and do okay. So I think that going forward, I hope that over the next 4 years I've still got plenty of improvement to go and working on plenty of my game.
Where do you see that improvement at?
sort of feedback do you get from Kenny?
Yeah, we're working. I'd love to continue my work through the stoppages and really work on that midfield aspect of playing in close and being an inside midfielder and not just being an inside midfielder, but really winning clearances and having that influence on the game through that regards. And obviously, I've continuously been working on my kicking and then continue to work on that sort of running aspect of my game as well.
Hamish Harlett mentioned the culture yesterday and wanted to be a part of that and driving that. He actually singled you out as somebody who's driving that. So 2 parts. How has the culture changed since you've been here? Second part, what will you be driving during the next 4 years at the club? Yeah, well, that's I guess when I first came to the club, it was everyone was working pretty hard and trying to improve. But I really think that over the last couple of years, the professionalism side of the game has raised up another level, and I think that Port Adelaide's done fantastic in the way that the players have all embraced that and really become ultra professionals on and off the field. So I think that that's probably a big thing that has really gone up a standard, and I think that the unity within the group I think is pretty tight, and I think that that's I guess grown over a number of years, and I think that as a group we're really tight like that, and I guess for the next 4 years I'd just make sure that I maintain that, keep working on sort of pushing bringing the young guys in, making sure they understand what it takes, making sure that professionalism's up. The training standard I think is another one that I guess I along with a lot of the other guys really drive and have pushed to improve, and it's at a level now where obviously we can keep improving, but it's at a pretty solid level, and I guess that'll be the big ones.
How important is that? You talk about that change in professionalism. Obviously, you can't pin success on one thing, but how important is professionalism today? Yeah,
in today's football, it's massive. It is. It's obviously the way you're eating and the way that you're conducting yourself off the field will definitely go on to the on-field side as well, and so I think that the club's really got a good handle on that sort of stuff now, and just coming back and seeing the guys' skin folds and where they're at in that regards, and the management that they do with their own bodies and understanding themselves a lot better than what they did a couple of years ago has been been massive, and I think that it'll continue to improve, and I think that's been a big one from Burjo coming to the club. Obviously working with some top line clubs around the world, you can really see what it takes.
And does that make it easy for you? As a leader, as a vice captain, you don't need to be worrying about your teammates eating the wrong things.
Obviously that definitely helps. That's for sure.
Hamish said yesterday that there's a lot of competition for midfield spots.
Mm-hmm.
He has to be more versatile. Do you feel that you have to adapt your game at any stage to play in your preferred position? Yeah, definitely. Yeah, that's obviously last year I had to adapt to playing a few different roles, and I think that'll be key going forward with so many players, especially with even like Matt White and Jared Pollock coming into the club. That adds another couple of midfielders that can swing through a number of roles, and I think that today's midfielders really play a number of roles anyway, whether it's deep forward, half back, and then obviously through the midfield position. So I think that if you're going to be a good midfielder in today's game, you've got to be able to play a number of positions, and everyone seems to be doing that pretty well so far.
What's the biggest challenge for yourself heading into season 2014?
Biggest challenge? I think it's just, at the moment, just about maintaining the training standards and making sure that that's right up there, and continue to push guys and myself to improve, I guess. That's the big thing. We're always talking about improving and going forward. We'd like to better ourselves from last year, and that's an exciting challenge in itself. So I think that'll be a big one for the pre-season, and then going in season as well.
What are some of your other goals? You mentioned your goals before. What other goals have you set for yourself?
For myself, I've really just made sure that I'm working on that stoppage work. Make sure that a lot of them are, I guess, smaller sort of stuff, but with your long-term goals, you're trying to make sure that you're playing week in, week out, and that comes down to like we've talked about, the professionalism side of the diet and the stuff that you're doing off the field with the recovery and the training standards. So at this time of year, I'm probably making sure that I'm just attacking every session and making sure that it is. Well, we've all sort of talked about making sure that every session and every week we're training like it's leading into round one. So I think that's a good focus for the boys at the moment to really set a goal like that.
Set the benchmark this year in making the finals. Is that something that's been discussed at all in terms of trying to get to that benchmark and make it again in terms of making the finals next year?
Yeah, we haven't really talked about definitely playing finals next year or anything like that. We obviously strive for that, and the way that we're going about it is we're setting ourselves to really make a big push, and I guess if we are improving on last year, then I guess that would mean that we're making finals. But we haven't really spoken about it as such. But I think that we had the taste last year and obviously loved it. So yeah, that's every club's really making sure that they're trying to push for that.